Hey guys, Mars Lincoln here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are doing the team building guide for the physical LR Trunks EZA. I don't know why the wiki doesn't have the actual image of it here, but it's finally been revealed that the weakness category for this in terms of the damage reduction is Space Traveling Warriors. Now obviously with every LR EZA, the weakness link for attack power is legendary power, so you want to have as many LRs as possible, because when the legendary power link is active you will be doing a lot more damage. So it is possible to do with a team that's just full of TURs, but you just do a lot less damage, so it takes a lot longer, and obviously that opens you up to more possibilities of the wrong units taking super attacks and things like that, which could lead to you failing the stage. So you obviously want to try and bring as many LRs as possible. I can't believe they picked Space Traveling Warriors. I mean, this is a team that is famous for being incredibly powerful when it comes to extreme STR, so I feel like this is potentially going to be one of the easiest LR EZAs out of all the ones that have released so far. So like a typical LR EZA, there are 10 stages. You can go further than that, of course, to just get Hercule statues, but after that, you just do the first 10. You get all of the medals that you need to fully EZA Trunks. You get 5 of the physical type Grand Kais so that you can get him to SA 25, and you get the 30 stones and a bunch of physical orbs. So very, very good. I feel like this one is going to be super easy, so let us jump in to have a look at the Space Traveling Warriors. Very big category, a lot of units here that are going to be very beneficial. So as always with my team building guides, I'm going to go over my top picks and some honourable mentions. If there's any units that I missed that you think I should have talked about, or any units that I covered that you think I should have talked about a specific thing a bit more, let me know down below in the comments section. And if you find this guide useful at all, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So going ahead and jumping straight in, obviously the main leader for Space Traveling Warriors is the STR Bojack. He's very good. He is a Space Traveling Warriors support unit, so regardless of how you choose to build the team, you can always use him as an off-rotation floating unit, and he's going to be supporting all of the units on the team. So I mean, aside from not being an LR, he is just absolutely perfect for this event. He's the leader for the team, and you don't even have to use him as like a main rotation unit if you don't want to, because of the support ability that he provides. So obviously very, very good, and you can choose to transform him in order to dish out a bunch of extra damage if you want to do that later on in the event. He has a very good link set, so just a very, very strong unit overall. So next up we have the LR Turles. He is a terrifying conqueror's leader. There's a lot of crossover with the two categories, but one of the most powerful extreme STR units in the game. Very, very good. Still one of my favorite summonable LRs. This guy will just absolutely clean house in this event. He is going to be very powerful. Obviously in EZAs where you can't heal, if you drop below 60% or less HP, you can use the active skill to get the guaranteed 24 key super, which then of course gives him the chance of getting the additional. So he is just going to be very, very powerful in this event. To get the most out of him with his link set and everything, you have to run him alongside the AGL Turles, or if you're a massive whale, you might have the TUR of this guy, who obviously would be definitely better in this event because of the type advantage. But regardless of whether you bring another Turles unit or not, this guy is very, very powerful. So next up we have the LR Full Power Frieza, the old school one. Now obviously in EZAs you can't take advantage of the same name update, so if you are going to bring the other LR Full Power Frieza, even though he's not STR, I mean he's just way better than this guy, but if you don't have the new one, this guy is a solid option. The team potentially has quite a few Wicked Bloodline units on it, and units that can link up really well with him, so he's pretty decent. He does sacrifice HP on his 12 key super, which I've never been a huge fan of units that do that, especially in events like this where you can't heal, but he still can be a very powerful option. So next up after that we have the actual Prime Battle LR Frieza, so another Wicked Bloodline unit, obviously very strong, one of the best free-to-play units in the game. If you put him in slot 1 or 3, the fact you're also fighting a super type enemy with the Trunks, he's going to be getting a ton of extra ki and some extra bonus defense in slot 1 or 3 as well. So this unit is just going to be very, very powerful. I mean, honestly, for the first few stages, like this guy linked up with another LR at least, so he actually does have the legendary power link active. is going to be pretty much taking care of Trunks all by himself, because he is a very, very powerful unit, especially because he's free to play. He's been out for ages, so even if you're someone who doesn't link level like crazy, he should probably have been a priority unit, especially if you are more of a free to play player. He's probably one of your stronger units. He's going to be very dominant in this event. So next up we have the other LR full power freezer. One of the first units I would recommend that isn't STR, just because he's so damn powerful, right? Like, if he gets hit in slot 1, he gets a guaranteed additional super attack. He raises attack on his 12 key and defense on his 18 key, which is, I prefer it to be that way around, because like the 18 key is usually the one you want to go for to do the most damage, and then you're building up your defense in the process. And then if you are getting that guaranteed additional from being hit in slot 1, or he has a chance to do it if he's in slot 2 or 3, you're then getting a chance to boost up your attack a little bit as well. So he's very powerful. You're not fighting a Goku, so he doesn't get the guaranteed crit, but you are facing a super type enemy, so once you get to the enemy being at 30% or less HP, you can use the active skill to potentially finish off the Trunks without having to worry about taking any hits. I could definitely see some situations where you could go into that final turn being super low on health, and he's attacking you a bunch of times in slot 1, but then you can just use the active skill from Frieza to finish him off and complete the stage. So next up we have the B-Pan, so the first super type unit. She's not going to link up super well with most of the rest of the team that we've discussed so far, but she is a unit that tanks really well, super attacks early, so you don't have to worry about key issues as much as you do with other units, and she heals on super attack, which is of course incredibly good for EZAs, because as we've already mentioned, you cannot use items during these events, so you can't heal in the traditional sense, but you can heal with her because she heals based on the damage that she does. So she is obviously a very good unit. She tanks really well, and she's got type advantage anyway, so she's going to be very strong. And of course on turn 3 you can use her active skill to give everybody else a massive buff. So even if she's not really linking up very well, imagine if she floats into slot 3 on a rotation where you've got like Prime Battle at Frieza and then the AGL Frieza, and then you just pop her active skill and they just absolutely destroy Trunks. So she is definitely a solid option for the team. Next up we have the LR Ginyu Force. Now the only reason I've included them, they obviously did not get an EZA during the download celebration, so they're not the most powerful unit in the world. I mean, they literally only have the 50% defense that they get from their support. The reason I included them is because they are an extreme class allies support unit, whilst also being an LR. So if you're basically packing your team full of LRs, these guys can function as a third slot floating unit that are buffing your main rotation units whilst also activating legendary power, depending on how many LRs you actually have, because obviously if your two main rotation units are LRs, it doesn't really matter, they're already getting legendary power active. But if you're lacking the ability to run a full LR team, this is a support unit that is also an LR. And then they also do play into the fact that because they are a Ginyu Force member, you can also bring along the STR Jace, who after his EZA is very good. Even pre-EZA, like, he has that Scouter ability, which is super useful. He also gives Ginyu Force allies a bunch of extra defense if there's another Ginyu Force ally on the team. So both he and the LR will have a bunch of extra defense. Honestly, this ability is not even necessarily like a deal breaker. You could just bring this guy on his own without any other Ginyu Force allies. And the fact that he is providing extreme class allies 3 key, 30% attack, and foreseeing enemy super attacks, honestly I think just that on its own makes him worth bringing, because post EZA his stats are much better. He raised his defense on super attack, so I think he's a very solid unit to bring as a third slot floater, and being able to see those super attacks is just an invaluable ability, so very powerful. Next up we have the STR Cooler. He could be a good stand-in leader because, as we mentioned with the Turles, like Terrifying Conquerors and then of course Transformation Boost, these two together, there's a lot of crossover with Space Traveling Warriors, so he's very good. He buffs Transformation Boost allies when there's only one enemy, so a lot of the units that we've talked about so far, especially a lot of the Freezers, are on Transformation Boost, so you can quite easily run, even like the Cooler leads, you can run like a full STR team using Wicked Bloodline units or Transformation Boost units in general, and having this guy there as a support, so he works very well on the team as well. Next up we have the Hit. Now this one, he's kind of like an honourable mention in the sense that not a lot of people are going to have this guy because the 50% supports haven't been around for a long time. But Hit definitely is one of the better ones. He raises defense on super attack, and then of course he's just supporting all the extreme STR units and is a space traveling warrior. So, I mean, he fits perfectly for this particular event and for this team build, but not many people are going to have him. So, you know, I mean, he's one of the two 50% supports that I don't have. So not everyone, of course, is going to have the ability to run this guy. Next up, we have the LR full power Jiren. Again, he's like a good stand-in you can use if you don't have some of the other units that we've talked about. He just has a huge burst of attack and defense right at the beginning. You can't attack or defense down Trunks after at least the first couple of stages, so he's not going to be operating at his full potential. But once he's received a bunch of attacks, he does have his active skill to give himself a little bit of a buff. And then to fully bring out his power, you can obviously bring along a unit like either the EZA God of Destruction Topo, who not only links up well with him, is a very good support and is just boosting him quite significantly, or you can just bring the STR Jiren, and obviously they share a lot of links together, and then this guy is still going to hold his own fairly well, because I mean both of these guys, they are STR space traveling warriors, so obviously they are well designed to be in this team. Even if you don't have the LR Jiren, if you're running low on options, you could literally just run these two together as a rotation. They're obviously not LRs, so they're not going to be doing crazy damage, but they could still work out fairly well for you on the team. So there you go, that is Space Traveling Warriors. So if we have a quick look at the list, obviously we don't really want to bring any int units. Beerus and Whis, I guess, could be okay. I guess STR Whis is on Space Traveling Warriors too, huh? So if you really are short on options, you could run Beerus and Whis and then STR Whis together. That could be an interesting combo. Not really going to mention any int units, although to be fair, this guy could still be pretty good. And Tech Hit, obviously after his EZA, is very good now. You know, the STR Hit is there for the support. Tech Hit is kind of a bit of an odd man out on this team. He doesn't link up super well with everybody, but he's very powerful now after his EZA, so he definitely could be a solid option as well. So yeah, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I guess to be fair as well, EZA Final Form Cooler is a decent stand-in option, even though he's only a physical unit, because he is very powerful as well, especially if you are leading more towards that STR Cooler led team where you're running mostly transformation boost and a bunch of freezer units. Then that cooler could fit into that team very well as well. So let me know what you guys think down below. Like I said at the beginning, if there's any units you think I missed that I should have talked about, or any aspects of a unit that I should have covered in more detail, let me know down below in the comment section, and let me know what your team build is going to look like for this EZA. Like I said, I definitely think this is probably going to be one of the easiest ones so far, just because Extreme STR Space Traveling Warriors is a ridiculously powerful team. So let me know what your team is going to look like down below. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.